you really don't want to use traffic violations and such because then they'd really be hammering people on that. You're driving 2 miles over the speed limit. That's a $200 fine. Look, that could soon be happening as well. Do not doubt the government's ability to be creative in garnering and squeezing money out of the people. Do not ever underestimate the government's ability to be creative to get money out of you. And the only way you're going to stop that is by electing bright, honest people who do not want to do that to you. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take control of your government, folks, by who you elect. And if you people are going to complain about taxes, well, you know what? You have nobody but to blame but yourself because you're the one that elected the people who are raising your taxes sky high in the first place. Plain and simple. You're the one who are electing people who are telling you that there's this global, man-made global climate. Jeb Bush, speaking of that, is out there talking about climate change. And I have the story here. Here it is. Jeb Bush. It's from the Washington Post, folks. But Jeb Bush, says the climate is changing. Yeah, we got that, Jeb. We know the climate is changing. It's always changing. It's never staying the same. The climate has never stayed static. It never. Name me a point in history where the climate was static. It's always changing. And that means that, well, since it's always changing, that means that the people have nothing to do with it. But here, Jeb was in Bedford, New Hampshire, in my neck of the woods. Look, this is the time we get these people all the time now. When presidential elections start to gear up, we get this. We get them coming here and screwing things up, what have you. But Bedford, New Hampshire, Dateline, from the Washington Post. Jeb Bush believes that the Earth's climate is changing, but he says, don't just blame humans. He says, the climate is changing. I don't think the science is clear on what percentage is man-made and what percentage is natural. So he's buying the BS that we're at least partially responsible. And look, these are the people that some people want to have in office. Obama is out there talking about climate change, and he's talking to Coast Guard people, graduates. He said President Obama says that climate change is a threat to homeland security and it hurts military readiness. Now, I don't know exactly how climate change is hurting military readiness. Now, let's just, for crips and giggles here, say that the planet is warming up, which means that there's less snow. Less snow means that military bases, especially Air Force bases in the northern climes that usually have to clear snow off the runways and the tarmacs in order to get the planes out there to fly, so the planes can fly, means they don't have to do it. How does that harm military readiness? I guess we need to be able to, use snowplow equipment on the runways. And I guess we need to, be able to clear away hangars so we can get the planes out so they can take off. And I guess we need to make sure that, that we get to use all of the de-icing equipment that planes have to use during the winter months in order for them to be ready. Look, folks, I kid you not about this stuff. You're out there and you're trying to, you think you're saving the planet and you're trying to do a good thing. And you think that you're also going to save some money. And the government is going to hammer you every which way. First of all, you're not doing enough to save the planet. But hey, when you start doing more, well, that means your old way that they used to collect taxes on, well, now they're not collecting taxes on it. So now they got to figure out a different way to squeeze the money out of you. And while they're figuring out a different way to squeeze the money out of you, it is actually going to end up costing you more because they're going to squeeze more money out of you. All the while saying, well, hey, you know what? You're trying to stay in the old-fashioned system. Why? Because it's cheaper. While they're trying to push and trying to make the alternative ways even more expensive because they want them to be even more efficient. And when you get it, okay, so I'm going to put these solar panels on my roof, so I'm not going to be able to connect. I don't need to connect to the grid, the electric grid. Oh, no. You have got to be connected to the grid. But I don't want to be because they're going to charge me. The electric company is going to charge me to be hooked up. And I don't need them anymore. Well, no, you got to be hooked up so we can charge a tax on that. But they'll tell you it's so you can feed back your excess power to the, make a little bit of money. Now, here's the problem with that. One, you're going to have to pay income tax on that. If you make a profit on that, you're going to have to pay income tax on it. You get what I'm saying? So they want, if you try to be a good little citizen, they're going to try to figure out a way to slam you with taxes. Folks, you're not hearing me here. It's already happening. See, in Oregon, they're claiming this is up to 5,000 volunteers. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody, especially a liberal, who's going to volunteer to pay a tax. So if the pilot program fails to garner the results that the government of Oregon was hoping to garner, and they know they're not going to get it, then all of a sudden it's going to become mandatory. And because you didn't agree to voluntarily give up, some privacy, they're going to demand that you do, and that all of these vehicles sold in the state from now on have to have these things. So they'll be able to tell how many miles you drive and where you drive. And that you will have to give them permission to look at this stuff. So your privacy's out the window, and you're paying more in taxes for the privilege of not having privacy anymore. But yet you're thinking, oh, it's a good idea because, we're saving the planet, when we're not harming the planet in the first place. Not to the extent that these global warming and global man-made global climate change people want you to believe. And trust me, one of the things about the George Bush article is Bush knows about the climate problems because of the rising oceans. Folks, there is no rising oceans. Due to the melting polar caps. I just told you about a week ago about these scientists they could not get to the Antarctic South Pole Station because there was too much freaking ice. And yet, on the same day, I'm reading a story about how the polar ice caps are melting. They have a picture of the scientists trapped in ice. Where is the melting going on? Where is the planet warming up? We can see satellite data from NASA. Oh, there's been an 18-year lull in heating up of the planet. In fact, it's been cooling off. Where's the heat? These past 2 years, we've been having cold weather galore all over the planet. We've broken records just about everywhere on the planet for cold. This year, we were breaking the records left and right on snowfall. Where's the freaking heat? But we're constantly told over and over and over. Look, we know that the emails and the studies at the University of Pennsylvania and at the East Anglian University and other colleges were faked because their emails were leaked that proved that all that data was faked. Yet we're supposed to believe that we're trying to save the planet. And then when you are a nice person and you try to save the planet, they want to tax the living hell out of you for doing it. Can you wake up, please? This has nothing to do with saving the planet. This has nothing to do with saving you money, although they would tell you that it's saving you money. But in the end, you're getting screwed. Over and over and over again. And yet we still have these, I'm not going to hold any punches. We still have these freaking stupid, moronic idiots who want to tell you that there's man-made global warming. And now we've got Jeb Bush saying, well, man is partially responsible. Jeb, you freaking stupid, moronic idiot. We are not responsible. The data has been faked. We don't even have to look at the data anymore. We can see it with our own freaking two eyes. We got a ton of ice in the North Pole. We got a ton of ice in the South Pole. We've got 18 years of decreasing temperatures, not increasing. There is no man-made global warming. There is no man-made global climate change. The planet has done this before. It'll do it again, and there's not a damn thing we can do to stop it. So why the hell should we be paying more in taxes to prevent this from happening? And then when we do try to prevent it from happening because we're buying into all this notion that we need to buy all this green and alternative crap, then we get taxed to death on that end too. Can somebody tell me where all of this sanity is coming from? There is no sanity there. It makes absolutely no freaking sense. None. It's illogical. It's ill-conceived. And all it's about is controlling you. And now Oregon, do they really need to know where you are driving in order to tell how many miles that you're driving every year? No. But they want to put a tracking device in your car. That's exactly what it is, folks. A tracking device. They want to put a tracking device on your vehicle. And now first they want you to volunteer for that, but I don't think they're going to get near the 5,000 people that they want for this study. So then they're just going to say, well, screw it. We're just going to order for everybody now. Everybody's going to have to do it. Don't doubt me on it, folks. Stuff is coming. Like that kind of stuff is coming. Plain and simple. Period. I don't. Unbelievable. Climate change? That's the threat to Homeland Security? What about the stupid freaking terrorist? Look, I think we've had more destruction in the past since Katrina, with terrorists than we have from Mother Nature. You got floods. Yeah, I know we have floods, and we probably shouldn't be building in areas that are low lying that have a tendency to flood like that. But no, we flood. Everything gets washed out, and what do people do? They go back into the same place, and they build again. And they get flooded again, and they cry and whine, oh, I can't believe we got flooded out. Well, you live in a floodplain. What do you expect? You're living below sorry, New Orleans, you're living below sea level. What do you expect? But then the rest of us are supposed to believe that the reason why this is happening is simply because of man-made global climate change when this stuff has been happening for eons? Where does this end? It doesn't end, folks. It doesn't end. There's going to come a point where they start saying, well, everything is connected, and everything is man's fault, and everything is man-made global climate change, and you're going to have to pay for it. Oh, we got to pay for this, so there's a tax on that. You're going to have to pay for this, so there's another tax on that. You're going to have to pay for this, so we're going to have to monitor your ability or your usage of this. And you're going to wake up one day and wonder where the hell your freedom went. Why is it government's following you everywhere? Why do they know where you've been, who you've been with, how long you were there? Because you're giving them the permission to do it right now by electing these fools and re-electing these fools over and over and over again. And pretty soon they're going to be able to tell how long you take a shower, what temperature the water was, and how much energy it took to produce the hot shower. Don't doubt me.